Hello everyone. So I thought it would be pretty cool to do a fall equinox for the collective energies, kind of just us as a whole. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a reading for that, guys, for the energies of the fall equinox. I've been learning a lot about the equinoxes, about the fall equinox and the summer solstice and the winter solstice and the spring equinox. It's really quite interesting when you get into certain elements and stuff like that. So the fall equinox to me is a time of harvest. I've actually got the fall equinox card here, which is a part of my Wiccan deck. So I've been learning a lot about the fall equinox today and how this marks the first day of fall for those of us who are born, well, I'm from Michigan, so it marks the fall for us, I guess, up north. But for people on other sides of the world, it would be the springtime for them. I'm not sure, but I know that the seasons are different around the globe like that. So up here in the north, or whatever you want to say, on this day, the fall equinox is the first day of fall, and it's the only day of the year that is equal length when it comes to night and day. So there's like it's light outside and it's dark on the same amount of length, and I think that's really symbolic because this fall equinox is measured by 0 degrees Libra. So I've got my Indigo Angel deck to represent the light today, and I got my Wisdom of the House of Night to represent the dark, and I'm going to clarify with regular tarot the Rider-Waite deck. So this is just kind of a special ceremony here with our energies, and I'm already feeling, this is just a very intense time of year for us as we head into the last half of the zodiac wheel, Libra through Libra through Pisces. So I definitely felt led to do a reading for us all and to see what guidance comes from the light, what guidance is coming from the dark. And this is basically, guys, like, I feel like this message is just going to help us know what like the next 4 months or so are going to be for us, because the next equinox that we're going to experience is going to be well, it's not an equinox, it's a solstice, the winter solstice on December 21st, when the sun is at 0 degrees Capricorn. So perhaps we will meet again for another solstice / equinox reading. I mean, it's just like this kind of cross that happens in the sky between all the cardinal signs. The summer solstice is 0 degrees Cancer, if I'm not mistaken. And then the winter solstice is 0 degrees Capricorn. When the sun moves into that sign, it's symbolic for a different season, a chapter that's closing. This is the fall time, so this is about heading into a time of darkness. And I am definitely a believer that the light is not good, the dark is not bad. These are just energies, basically the seen and the unseen, the aware and the more mysterious. Basically, as above, so below. We all have duality, right? So it's basically the sun and the moon, conscious, subconscious energies, and we're going to use both today because that's what today is all about, is combining the light and the dark, knowing that light casts a shadow for a reason. So we're going to get started on the messages here and see what comes up for all of us. I'm not going to do each sign. I'm just going to do a collective reading because I feel like it's important to kind of just all stand together as all 12 zodiac signs. This is a small ritual that I did last year on the fall equinox. So for those of you who are interested in doing this, you can still do this, tomorrow. I'm doing it now as the sun is 0 degrees Libra, but I took 2 candles and they're both white to symbolize purity, and we're just going to light one of them. We're going to light a candle in the name of our light, in the name of awareness, in the name of protection and clarity, and then we're going to leave this candle unlit. That way, the darkness is just more comfortable like that. There's a reason why some things are left more mysterious. There's a reason why we have the hidden aspects in our reality and in our universe. So we're going to light the light, and we're going to let the dark remain mysterious and in the shadows. So I light this candle in the name of all of our light and our awareness and our clarity, and I'm going to sit it right next to the candle of dark to symbolize light and dark and the duality and the balance of that. So we'll just have that sitting here. It's not in the way. Okay, so let's start with the light. I'm going to start with a message from the angels. I am going to read from the books, guys. after we get the messages here. So I already shuffled the cards, and I'm already setting my intent that this be the reading for my fall equinox. This is the light energy of the collective. So let's see, there's one message here for the light. What can we learn over the next 4 months until, well, what can we learn until December, until the winter solstice? What can we learn from the light? What is the message from the light for the fall equinox? What is the message from the light? So in many ways, this is going to be what we're aware of, what we can see, what our clarity is based off of, our guidance. They're both for guidance. But we're going to see what the light is guiding us by, what we should keep in mind from the light. Okay, so we have the card, think about it. Think about it. So we'll see what this says in the book. But to me, this means that we really need to spend some time thinking about our awareness. And this is interesting that's coming up because we have Libra season. So this could definitely be that cardinal air energy. Libra's an air energy, very mental sign, very sword, king of swords type of energy. So there's something that the light is guiding us to basically reflect on and think about. Let's get the message from the dark here. This is going to be something more that we may learn on a subconscious level from the dark energy. Something that's more of a mystery, more of a secret. So let's get a card. Whoa. So we got 2 cards here. We have cycles and meditation. I'm going to go with it because I don't like putting my cards back up when they come out, because they come out for a reason. So the cards that did come out is meditation and cycles. I think I already mentioned that. Meditation, cycles of meditation. So we've got 2 energies here. It's so interesting how the light and dark, you know, people think that they're separated. People think that, you know, that they don't go together, but it's yin and yang energy. And that's just being reiterated here with a message, because the dark and the light are basically saying the same thing in different ways. So the light is think about it, and then meditation and cycles. So perhaps we're doing some thinking about the certain cycles. You know, when I see the cycles card, it talks about the moon and how the moon is full, the moon goes through waxing and waning. Okay, you guys can't really see because of the light, but there's all the phases of the moon on this card, and it's cycles, and it's the number 37, and we got the number 25. So that might be meaningful to some of you guys. Meditation cycles, think about it. And the bottom of the deck for think about it is self-reflection, which is another thinky card. So we've got a lot of mental energy coming up here, and that makes sense because the fall equinox is Libra season as well. And then the underlying energy here for this deck is focus. So there's something we need to focus on, self-reflection. So before we clarify even further with regular tarot, let's read about these cards in the Indigo Angel deck. I'll just put those right on top of each other and mix the light and dark. So we have think about it. Think about it. So the message from the light is to think about it. Something that we're being guided to think and reflect on, very much reflect. Maybe even explore a self-reflection. Explore what we see in the mirror when we look at ourselves, you know, mentally processing everything. And I'm sure we're all thinking about different things. This is the card 45, or page 45. So let's see. So let's hold this up. So this is a message from the light in regards to the fall equinox. This card asks you to step back from your current path or thought process and review the situation you're asking about. There's an unseen aspect, and the angels guide you to slow down so you can move forward with the whole picture in sight. This card can also be cautionary. If you were about to make a radical change impulsively, this is a caution. While it may still be the best path, this card asks you to look into alternatives first. As an indigo angel, you're exquisitively sensitive to energy, and your mission is to heal and transform negative energy into positive energy. However, there's always a better way to do so. This card asks you to research your options for making the healthful changes that are part of your Indigo mission. This card came out for Scorpio for September. So guys, I feel like what this is basically meaning is there's a current path that we're all on, especially in regards to our thought processes, and this is asking us to self-reflect and review the path so far. And it's interesting that the light is telling us that there's an unseen aspect, okay? That it literally says that in this book. There's an unseen aspect, and the angels are guiding you to slow down so you can move forward with the whole picture in sight. So see, what the light is an energy in the universe that appreciates clarity. It appreciates being able to see forward. So what the light is warning us about is to just be cautious while we're heading into this dark time of fall. And Libra through Pisces is the dark half of the zodiac wheel. So it's a little bit more otherworldly, and you know, we're coming up on Halloween and energies like that. So we're just being guided to think about something right now. If there's any of us who are on the brink of making like a really radical change right now, the light is saying, you know, be careful making choices right now, because even the light is admitting that there's something unseen right now. It's kind of a time of darkness, which, what do I mean by that? A time of internal processing, a time of emotional depth and review and hibernation and rebirth, death. You know, we have all the plants and animals hibernating, and the plants are dying, and leaves are changing. So, you know, it's just about thinking a little bit more in depth about certain decisions coming up here that are radical. You know, any crossroads that we're at, we may know the best path, we may have an idea, but we just need to be a little bit careful because there may be alternatives, right? So that might be why the dark is telling us to meditate, because there are just certain cycles that are playing a role right now. Cycles of sadness and happiness, and cycles of wealth and poverty, and you know, all these dualities. There is a time and a season for everything. And you know, us spiritual people, we're very, very sensitive to energy, and part of our mission is to heal and transform negative energy into positive energy. So without one, there is no other. You know, negative and positive energy, you know, sometimes positive energy is dark, sometimes negative energy is light. It just depends on you know, it's really unique. I'm a dual sign, I'm a Pisces, so this is Libra energy too that we're in right now, guys. So this is about duality, you know, between masculine and feminine. Wow. Just waiting for this car to go by. Okay. So yeah, there's duality between all things, yin and yang aspects, positive, negative, up, down, masculine, feminine, all these things. So it's definitely about understanding how both of these energies can be beneficial. There are times when the light can be negative, there are times when the dark can be positive. It just depends, okay? And even the light is warning us about the unseen, and the unseen is telling us to meditate about cycles in our life. You know, if you really, really think about it, interesting. If you really, really think about it, if you reflect, you'll notice certain patterns in your life as well. You know, certain yearly patterns, or certain things that just kind of happen to you around a certain time of year. You know, it might not happen the same exact way, but the more you think about life and self-reflect on your journey, you may realize certain cycles that are happening with you, within people, places, jobs. Cycles can come in all forms. There's just a time to be seen, there's a time to be unseen. That's why every month we have a full moon and a new moon. The new moon symbolizes darkness, and then the full moon, which is happening in a couple days in Aries, that symbolizes light, awareness, okay? So the seen and the unseen. There's something that we can't see even when it comes to the light right now, and we're being asked to really think before we move forward. So let's see meditation, if there's a message there for meditation on page 76. So this is telling you to be, it's telling us to be still and listen to the sounds of the pulsing energy as the life force inherit all things, a gentle song to your sweet ears. In the darkest black night, wow, this card is literally saying, it starts off, in the darkest inky black night, I, Nynx, make my magic and weave it into the world. This is a time for non-action. Wow. Do nothing and find quiet within your heart and wait. All will be revealed when the time is right. Now is the time for quiet contemplation. Right? Wow. You won't miss anything if you stay quiet. Be still and know that I, the goddess of night, am always with you, and you discover your magic in silence. Okay, shook. Both cards are telling us to wait. They're telling us this is a time of waiting. Like, this is a time, even I am, that's a little unsettling a little bit, because we're all in different parts of our life. There may be huge decisions. This is a huge time of change. We have a full moon, so there's going to be new beginnings and endings and decisions, right? I know that a lot of people have decisions to make, love decisions, job decisions, house decisions, really, really major decisions coming up in our lives right now. And so we are being led by both the light and the dark. I love this, because this is just, it reiterates how the light and the dark are no different. They go hand in hand. They just see things a little bit differently. So we're being asked to think about something because there's something unseen. And now we're being told by the darkest, blackest night that magic is woven into the world during times of quiet. It literally says that this is a time for non-action. So that reminds me of this card that talked about radical changes in our life right now, and how we're just being asked to kind of be patient and see things, see all the aspects, So we're even being asked to do nothing and find quiet within our heart and wait. All will be revealed when the time is right. Both the light and the dark are talking about things not being revealed right now. You know how it is when you make a decision when you didn't see something. You might see something after that decision, like, man, I didn't know that. I didn't have full awareness of that, you see. So now is the time for quiet contemplation. You won't miss anything if you stay quiet. Be still and know that I, the goddess of night, am always with you as you discover your magic in silence. Magic in silence. Interesting. Beautiful. And when we're meditating and when we're thinking about things, we are silent. We are, and it's so we're able to hear our higher selves, our guides. And it's interesting that even this self-reflection is being brought up when it talks about this quiet time, to just sit with quiet in your heart. Now let's read cycles, because meditation came out with cycles. So, there's cycles of going and stopping and waiting. And this is page 100. So that's a nifty number. It's the number 37 card, though. So let's see here. Cycles of meditation. So to me, after reading that with you guys, it makes me feel like there's a time and a place to move. There's a time to make decisions. And the moon does its best to tell us that. So perhaps, we are somewhere on this card right now where the full moon is, right here, if you can see that full moon. So there is a cycle, and maybe we need to spend this Aries full moon meditating. And it's interesting, the Aries full moon is all about the first house of self. So, the moon is reflection. Aries is the first house of self. What better way to say self-reflection? Looking ourselves dead in the mirror. This is all about stepping even further into who we know we are now. Every year around this time, we become more clear about who we are. So, when we all just went through so much, summer was like weird, right? Like the last few months have just been strange. Virgo season was, Virgo season. A lot of hard work, a lot of thinking and analyzing and fixing and stuff like that. So, guys, it's okay to just take some time. Some of us may be actually taking time in our life. Like, we might be taking time off work, or just trying to chill more, or just requesting more time for something. Like, I just need more time. And this reminds me of Saturn a little bit. Cycles and karma. This is like karma. So let's see what this card talks about. And oh boy, it definitely is about karma, because the first thing I see here is the fact that it says what goes around comes around. So this is the what goes around comes around card. And this message is a symbol of cycles. The moon goes from new to full in cycles that repeat each month. Whatever you are planning to do or to reveal by asking your question. So if any of you had, a specific question on your heart right now, it'll be revisited in other circumstances. So I was just talking about that, how every year, it might not be the same thing that happens to you, but it's kind of a similar. So be clear about your action. You will surely meet this experience again. Remember, what goes around comes around. Like the moon that revolves around the planet, the energy that you express in the next action will orbit around you. Make sure it's a good one. So right off the bat, both of these cards talk about action. This says that this is a time for no action. And then this is a card that reiterates the fact that so what we're doing right now, guys, the message, we all have something to do soon. And we just need to spend some, we know what it is. The light is telling us that, remember it said, while this might be the best option, we're still being asked to consider the alternatives. For some reason, that's really important for this message, like considering alternatives, even though, you know, we're all being led, we're like so certain, we're like 99% sure of a specific, all of us are 99% sure about something right now, a person, a place, a thing, something. What is that for you? Because I know that is for me. We're waiting on just one thing. And sometimes, you know, 99% is enough. But this is one of those times where it's all or nothing. Okay? This is not going to be a 99% choice. This is something we need to think about, because this particular thing, what we do, it's all in. It's going to change us completely. That's why we're self-reflecting right now. And these cycles that we're going through right now, these equinox, solstice cycles, these zodiac cycles, every month is a cycle. You know, the moon coming up, the sun is a cycle, all these cycles, right? And that's why we're being asked to go inward and meditate in quietness. Like, we need quietness right now to think, to meditate. This Virgo energy, this Libra energy. We've had Earth, Virgo, now we're in an air sign. So lots of self-reflection. We had the card focus, okay? Self-reflecting and focusing on self-reflection. Focusing on meditation and on the cycles that we are aware of now, because this is a time of year where we really do realize cycles within us, right? And it's about breaking some of those cycles and just knowing what we can learn from it. So perhaps on the Libra new moon next month will be significant. We're going to go from an Aries full moon to a Libra new moon. So you'll be surprised. I do videos every month for the new moon and the full moon, and I give, you know, messages for each of the signs. So whatever you're planning to do or reveal will be revisited in another circumstance. So be clear about your action. You will surely meet this spirit experience again. Like the moon that revolves around the planet. So it's interesting that these cards both talked about action. So there's just an unseen aspect here, okay guys? So it's going to be pure intuition from here on out. I'm putting the books down over here. I'll just put them right there for now. So now I want to get even more clarification of these cards, and we'll see what comes out, but we're going to let regular tarot speak for the light and the dark now. So let's see, Spirit, what is the message of light for the fall equinox 2018, September 22nd? It's the card Think About It. So is there any more that the light would like to reveal? Okay, so that card just spun out, and this is the Ten of Wands. This card has been coming out a lot for me tonight. I just sometimes just pick my cards up and shuffle. Well, the Ten of Wands, Ten of Wands, Ten of Wands, Ten of Wands. So the Ten of Wands is all about hard work, and you know what? This card talks about the harvest, because this guy is really, really working hard, right? This is almost like a self-burden. Like, he doesn't care about this burden. He knows it's a burden, but this is stress and hard work, and sometimes it is overburden. It's heavy weight. But what he's doing is he is gathering up all of his hard work and labor, and he's like not far away from where he's carrying those wands to. So this does talk about reaping the harvest. I've read this on Biddy Tarot. It talks about the harvest. So there's just some burdens that we need to think about. This is a number, we have a number 10, so this is a completion for sure. And for some of us, it has to do with this Queen of Pentacles energy. So earth signs, you guys are probably feeling specifically burdened, because these are very realistic burdens, very financial burdens, even like physical within our body burdens. So for some reason, this is the underlying energy, the Queen of Pentacles, that earth energy. This is harvest, you know, abundant energy. The Queen of Pentacles, she's someone who has life-work balance. Like, she can go to work, and then she can come home and cook and clean and do laundry, and then, you know, still have time to like have a glass of wine at the end of the night. So that there's some balance here that is needed. Some of us have financial burdens, or the burdens linked to Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy, linked to our career or our finances, our worth, our value, self-reflecting on that. But this is a very earthy burden. For some of us, it does have to do with money and jobs, or it's just a burden that's very physical burdens, like burdens that we actually carry around and that have actual weight, other people's responsibilities weighing hard on us. And even behind her, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So there's something here about, you know, being independent. There's a lot of gardening energies. And even beyond her, we have the Three of Pentacles and then the Seven of Swords. So being very careful about what we're carrying, especially if we're carrying around any burdens at work. This is teamwork, okay? It's about working together now, because that's what this guy needs. You know, I don't really know much about farming, but it would sure help that man out if he had somebody to do the side work for him and to carry a few of those wands too. And it's interesting, the fall equinox is all about, it's honestly, you know what guys, the fall equinox is the real Thanksgiving. This is what, I don't know, westernized society, whatever you want to call it. A lot of the holidays are kind of ripped off from pagan, and you know, like the winter solstice to me would resonate more with Christmas, you know, the birth of the sun of our universe, not necessarily, you know, but the Bible is kind of, I guess, influenced by that, and it's kind of a metaphor. So it's really interesting. I was researching about the fall equinox earlier, and it's a time of giving and gratitude, which is so Thanksgiving. Like, we should really be having Thanksgiving now. So it talks about lending a hand to the less fortunate, right? So that's why this teamwork energy. Some of us, there are certain situations where we feel unfairly burdened and betrayed. Maybe there's just hidden agendas with some of your guys' co-workers, or just hidden agendas pinnacle-wise, or, you know, anything. It could even involve someone who's single, third-party situations. Like, this is about our worth. It's about our gardens of abundance, because we have these grapes here. Grapes are really symbolic for the fall, because we have this grape, this pumpkin. It's all about your best harvest, you know. This is what we do around this time. We gather up our crop. And this is what that woman's doing. She's basking in the ambiance of her own abundance. Fall is huge about abundance and harvest and stuff like that. The ripening, right? The harvesting of energies. And we have the Queen of Pentacles, who is also in her own mini garden of growth. So heavy earth energy, guys. Heavy physical, financial, worth energy. Certain new beginnings financially. With some of us are really burdened by old jobs, stuff like that. So let's get a card for the dark. This is the fall equinox energy. So let's see what more we have to learn about meditation and cycles of meditation when it comes to the dark hand of the fall equinox. And how symbolic. The card fell upside down, and it is the Strength card. Strength card, that North Node energy. And then we've got a Hermit here. This Hermit card fell out. This card fell out, and then these two fell out. Wow. So, wow. We have a significant Taurus Virgo energy. These are two earth signs, and we had the Queen of Pentacles before that. And then we have Leo. So we've got two fixed energies, Leo and Taurus. So if there's any Leos, Taurus, or Virgos watching, your guys' energy is very important for some reason to this reading. And, you know, aside from this being Virgo, Taurus, Leo is strength, bravery, right? This is the strength of that woman there that she has to tame this seemingly scary beast, right? But he's not. He's as sweet as a kitten. And so this is us tackling our fears, tackling things that would usually be a bit ferocious, like taming our energies, being able to be in quiet. So if you're a Leo, you definitely need to meditate. We all have Leo energy somewhere. This is the North Node. So you know what this is saying? This is talking about us meditating towards cycles. Like, soon we're gonna have the North Node in Cancer. Right now the North Node is still in Leo, and the South Node is still in Aquarius. So even the North Node is important right now, and we need to meditate towards what direction we're going into, what our life path is, right? Certain cycles, and having the strength that it takes to wait when it's time to wait and go when it's time to go. Making sure that our next move is very authentic and heart-based, right? And then, yes, this is a Taurus, but this is also commitment. This is also our beliefs. So having the strength to learn and teach when it comes to our beliefs. This is a certain priest energy, right? So having the strength to be whatever is traditional, right? Maybe for some of us this is having the strength to do something other than what we would traditionally do. But this is a specific educational energy, right? Taurus, Leo, two fixed energies, and then this Hermit. I think this is very, very interesting, especially that two earth signs came out, because we just talked about the Queen of Pentacles. So earth sign energy, you guys are going to really feel the seasonal shift. You know, this is the time when earth is colder, And this is the time, you guys just feel it. The weather change, you guys know. If you're a Taurus or Virgo or Capricorn, comment below. You know, how you guys always check the weather before you guys go somewhere, or, you know, you're very linked to the earth. So when the season changes, earth signs change, right? And I think everyone changes, but earth signs feel it the most. And we have self-reflection here in the Hermit. These are two different cards that are, so maybe we're self-reflecting in two opposite ways because of the way I just held this. I didn't even realize that. But these are both two cards that talk about self-reflection too. Maybe spending some alone time in quiet. This Hermit card is a very quiet energy, right? He needs peace and quiet. He's all alone in his solitude. He's isolated. He's very wise. He's a spiritual teacher. So we do have a spiritual teacher showing up here. These are both two spiritual cards, a priest energy and a hermit. So this is like a prophet and a priest. It's very prophetic, quiet energies. Very, very quiet. You may even have to spend more time on your own. You know, you may need to commit to alone time, some of us. There's too much going on that we need to meditate about. Self-reflection, meditation, focus, you know. And then the bottom of the deck is the Queen of Cups. So water energy. We did have the Three of Swords poke out a minute ago. In the Ten of Swords. So it's no secret that water, our emotional energies, not just Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, but the Queen of Cups is here to symbolize all of our emotions. We're very drained from summer. You know, it was hard energies there. There was a lot of, this is just a weird time. The planets have been going kind of insane and kind of gnarly energies out there. You know, this Ten of Wands energy is, these are emotional burdens, physical burdens, mental burdens, and these are all things that we're thinking about. To me, this combination, it's saying that we're burdened. There's some heavy thoughts, okay? Heavy thoughts that we may not be gaining awareness about because where our minds are. This is Gaia is representing our minds. This is representing what we're thinking about. We're all thinking about our effort. We're thinking about how close we are to getting this bundle of passion to its destination. But for some reason, this energy is all about going inwards, following our own light, emotionally, passionately, even physically and groundedly. We're meditating, right? Self-reflecting and exploring. But for some reason, we're just being very, very guided to be caution. And, you know, we're being asked to, you know that things come in cycles. Cycles of light, cycles of dark, new moon, full moon. These are all energies, whether we realize it or not. They're all energies that impact our subconscious. They impact our journeys here. So whatever heavy thoughts we've been having, this is almost like a Nine of Swords energy. Very heavy thoughts. You know, maybe we even are burdened a little bit by how our minds have been. Virgo season is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is in Libra. Mercury just finished in Virgo. So Mercury is pretty comfortable in these signs intellectually. And so our emotions have been kind of taking the back seat, right? Quite literally. The Queen of Cups is here to symbolize all our emotional states. And, you know, this is why we're being aided to be very careful what our next move is. The Two of Swords is a woman who has definitely turned her back on her emotion. This logical, earthy energy, she's on earth. She's on a foundation. But there's all this water behind her, right? And the water is not very calm. It's rippling. There's some rocks back there, right? I don't really think any ships could kind of sail back there smoothly. So there's something that we can't see right now, guys. And that's why a lot of us are feeling this mentally conflicted energy as a collective. But the good news is that is about to change. You know, there's been a lot of sorrow. There's been a lot of, I told you that was the Nine of Swords. A lot of us have felt very left out. This is cold, dark energy. You know, this may be what we are about to influence. I think there is a Capricorn peeking through here. So now we have all three of the earth signs. Some of us could be walking away emotionally right now. You know, maybe we already have, but we're following the synchronicities of our soul. Aries full moon. This is the Eight of Cups. Leaving behind emotional attachments. Right? This could even be coming up for that. And look who's here. We have the Libra card. Libra and Capricorn. Your energy is showing up in this reading. You know, these are two cardinal energies. Balance. And remember what I said. Libra symbolizes the fall equinox. Capricorn symbolizes the next equinox. So from now until the next equinox, we need to be spending time balancing out our emotions. Getting justice and harmony and peace when it comes to certain toxicities, codependency, anything we feel chained to, we can cut, we can balance, we can justify these energies, not in a bad way, but gain justice over them is what I mean. cut those chains of toxicity and manipulation, codependency, and this is linked to emotion. We're just gaining justice over certain darknesses, right? This is just subconscious darkness. We can't blame it on anyone but ourselves. So that's why what we're walking away from, because there has been a lot of mental burden. There's been a lot of anxiety, a lot of darkness, but that is what's about to change. So to have the Two of Swords, and behind the Two of Swords was the Wheel of Fortune, that tells me that this decision is going to change everything. But before we make that decision, there is something we need to become emotionally clear about. Maybe the full moon in Aries will help us with that. We have to turn around and see, because remember, this is the card, the bottom energy for the whole card. So we need to emotionally reflect, focus on the way that we feel, but also remain grounded throughout that. Allow it to be kind of a light that's shed. In this picture, there's still a bit of light. So the light is here. And the moon cycles have already showed up. So I feel like the new moon in Libra is going to be important. But we are emotionally confused about something that's coming up here. And, you know, we've been trying to be logical and intellectual about this, but we're at a crossroads. The Queen of the Two of Swords woman, she's blinding herself because this decision is really hard. And we all feel this. I feel like we all have... There's been certain choices lately that the universe has made for our lives. Like, all of our lives changed in some way in Virgo season, right? Kind of hard to go through Virgo season and not have your reality analyzed. So once Virgo comes in, when we get into Libra season, there's always something different about our lifestyle, because every year it's kind of upgraded. So this year, there's a lot of confliction because there's some changes going on emotionally, right? There's all these changes going on. And this is Jupiter, okay? Jupiter in Scorpio. So there's a lot of deep, intense changes going on when it comes to the Wheel of Fortune. And I feel like we're just emotionally conflicted about these changes. We know that we're contemplating on a huge, huge change. This is going to be karmic, right? And we did have the North Node in Leo. Leo and Taurus are both on this card. So lots of changes, guys. I think we're a little conflicted about these changes emotionally. Maybe some of us have even tried to go numb, right? But we don't want to use our time of silence to go numb or to shut off, right? We don't want to turn our back to these burdens. We need to think about them, right? And don't just let your thoughts like downward spiral. Just, you know, allow yourself to hear your thoughts so that they don't go on a spinning wheel, like they don't come back around. And it's interesting I said wheel, because I think a lot of our thoughts are going on a wheel. Like, we know these changes are coming up. Some of these changes have already happened, and it's really, really affected us emotionally, but we're just kind of blinding ourselves to it so that we can get through it. But, you know, real strength is allowing yourself to feel. Real strength is committing to, you know, your soul's wisdom and knowing. Tyson, quit itching, buddy. So Virgo, Taurus, Leo, we had Capricorn and Libra. So we're just self-reflecting, guys, on our commitments. We're self-reflecting on our values. We're meditating. And we're focusing on this, focusing on our fulfillment, which is another fall equinox word. And lots of decisions, guys. I've heard that throughout this reading. Decisions, you know, thinking about something because there's an unseen aspect. You know, the Queen of Swords thinks that she only has two options. But we're being asked, you know, this is a huge change. Okay, it's a change in how we feel. It's a change in our reality. Because of the way that we've just been overwhelmed with thoughts lately that it's kind of hard to focus. So it's really about focusing and self-reflecting on your journey right now. Your journey and your journey only. Because there's only things that you know about your inner strength and wisdom. You know, and the Two of Swords woman, she's just temporarily blinding herself to that. This is kind of a Libra card too. But... you know, she doesn't just have these only two options. Perhaps there's going to be a new awareness gained. So, you know, maybe we're just waiting on these things emotionally. Self-reflecting emotionally. The Queen of Cups is very nurturing. She could be self-reflecting in her throne of emotion. So focusing on this, guys, and thinking, doing some thinking about whatever this Ten of Wands energy could represent for you. Some of us, it's going to be a relationship. Others of us, it's just feeling overburdened with work and giving ourselves time to like step back. Taking a break is not quitting, right? You're just resting, you're not quitting. And we're just giving ourselves time to mentally process all the shit that has happened over the last month. Like, I think we deserve that. So this message definitely related to me, guys. I'm going to re-listen to it later because I usually just channel. I'm not always, you know, I don't always remember every detail that's said because I'm busy just interpreting and seeing and feeling energies. Okay, we have "You Are Special." That's so nice. and individuality. So we're all unique, special individuals. We have the moon showing up here, but there's certain parts of us, guys, that are going to be revealed to us now. Libra season, the fall equinox, is going to reveal. We all change around this time of year. It's a different part of ourselves, especially those of us who are experiencing the colder weather soon. This is a time of change. You know, we can't just go outside soon. We can't just go outside in fall and, you know, well, we can. I love going outside in the fall. I'm just saying the weather, it hinders us sometimes. When it rains or snows, like the weather is about to start burdening some things, or it's time to go indoors and hibernate and reflect, basically. But that message there was an Aries message. It was you are special in individuality. So that was Spirit's way of saying that we're all unique and special in our own ways. And the only way that we're going to get through this is if by individually reflecting. Okay, looking our own self in the mirror. And there is an aspect that this Aries full moon, I pulled the moon card as well. So emotions is coming up here deeply. Our souls, like our souls with this Aries full moon. I will talk about that later, guys, in a couple days with my Aries full moon video. But with these energies, this moon, this is the only time of year. The Aries full moon is the one time where our souls are illuminated. And, you know, that's just the energy that's going to reveal something. You know, so after, maybe that's when we're waiting. Maybe we just need to wait until, you know, September 24th. Maybe we just need to wait for the rest of September, going into October, then after we've spent some time thinking. I mean, I don't want to put a time limit on things, guys. Follow your own intuition, your own guidance, your own light, but you will know. You will know what step to take, and it'll be authentic to you. So thanks, guys, for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed. I've never done a fall equinox reading, but I felt really led to do that today. So I'm going to get this uploaded, and I can't wait to hear what some of you guys think, how this related to you. Please comment, and I comment back. I go through and through and through, make sure I comment back to everyone. So love and light to all you guys who have watched. If you have stuck through and watched the whole reading, just know that I'm setting the intent that everyone who has heard this message, you're automatically balanced. You're stepping into Libra season with your light illuminated and with your dark hidden. So that's beautiful. You know, there's certain things right now that we're all keeping hidden. And then on the other end of things, there are things that we all know. So there's been illumination here, right? Self-illumination. And that's what's going to continue to happen with this Aries full moon. And I will talk to you guys for that Aries full moon in a couple days. Happy fall equinox to you guys, and see you later.